On October 4th, 2025, Perseverance captured something no one expected, a glowing, streaking cylinder in the Martian sky, roughly 50,000 kilometers long in apparent image width and darting past Mars at over 90 kilometers per second. The object, known as 3I/ATLS, stunned the scientific world with its unnatural shape and velocity. NASA attributed the image to camera stitching artifacts, but its precise shadows and unnerving symmetry stirred deeper questions. Was it truly an artifact, or a glimpse of something entirely uncharted? If you're still watching, subscribe now. You crave more than answers. You seek what lies beyond. Subscribe now and be part of the few who never stop searching. For the first time, an interstellar object had been caught on camera from the surface of another planet, and its form didn't align with anything we've seen from comets or asteroids native to our solar system. What followed was a surge of scrutiny and speculation, as scientists and the public debated what Perseverance had actually seen. 3I/ATLS wasn't just fast and foreign, it was composed of material likely born in another star system, unlike anything in our planetary neighborhood. As it races towards perihelion on October 29th, orbiters like MRO and ESA's Mars missions are still withholding high-resolution images, fueling theories that the object might be more than a natural visitor. Whether it disintegrates in the sun's heat or survives, its presence echoes a greater truth. Space is no longer just a silent void, but a dynamic theater of unexplained phenomena. Each fragment that crosses into our system could be a clue, not only about the universe beyond, but about who or what else might be out there. You're sitting on the red edge of another world, Mars, cold, silent, barren. Then something breaks the silence. A camera on Perseverance, NASA's most advanced rover, captures something no one expected. October 4th, 2025. A single frame. A sky above Jezero crater. There it is, a glowing stripe slicing across the Martian sky. Not a star, not a dust trail, not a meteor. A streak. Straight, elongated, precise. 50,000 kilometers long, painted by speed and physics onto a still image, and that's when everything changes. This isn't just another rock, it's designated 3I/ATLS. The third confirmed interstellar object ever detected in our solar system, not from here. Not part of our cosmic neighborhood. It came from somewhere else, and it's moving fast, over 90 kilometers per second relative to Mars. Faster than anything naturally bound to the sun. It's just passing through. But that one image, it sparks more questions than answers. Officially, NASA says the stripe is an artifact, a product of stitching, a limitation of the navigation camera. The object was moving too fast for the shutter. It blurred into a glowing line. A technical glitch. That's the story. But many aren't buying it. Because the shape wasn't chaotic. It wasn't random. The streak looked deliberate, cylindrical, elongated, a form with shadow, direction, structure. To some scientists that defied simple explanations, to others it raised possibilities they'd rather not say out loud. Is it just a rock? A chunk of frozen gas and cosmic dust? Or is it something more constructed? The image comes from Perseverance's NavCam. It's not meant for astrophotography. It's designed to guide the rover. It's not equipped to capture distant high-speed cosmic objects, and yet against all odds it caught this. At the exact moment 3I/ATLS swept near Mars. The timing, incredibly rare. The shape, unlike anything we've seen from a solar system comet. The direction, interstellar. And that's not speculation, its trajectory is clear. 3I/ATLS is inbound. Its path arcs toward the sun, scheduled to reach perihelion, its closest point on October 29, 2025. At just 210 million kilometers out, it'll skim past, then swing away. Unless it doesn't survive. Because no one knows what it's made of. Not really. That's the core mystery. If 3I/ATLS was formed beyond our solar system, its composition could be entirely foreign. It could carry materials forged in a different star system, under alien pressure, heat and radiation. Or it could be something much simpler. A pristine relic of cosmic formation, a chunk of interstellar ice and rock, older than Earth itself. Or it could be something else. Some scientists are cautious. the lack of detailed data leaves too much room for interpretation. The image is low resolution, the perspective is distorted. But others can't ignore the shape, the symmetry, the way it holds form as it streaks. Artificial. No one will say that officially. Not yet. But the speculation grows, especially as high-resolution data from other missions remains missing. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, ESA's orbiters, multiple assets have captured data. And yet, as of mid-October, nothing new has been released. No close-up, no sharper image, just silence. That silence fuels the fire. If there's nothing unusual, why the delay? Why is the world left staring at a blurry streak from a navcam, when multiple orbital platforms had better angles, better lenses, better tools? There's no answer, just more waiting. The object's size is estimated roughly 46 kilometers long, but the estimate depends on assumptions. Reflectivity, speed, composition. It could be smaller, it could be denser, it could be hollow. And that's where the questions spiral. If it's natural, it's still extraordinary. The mere fact that it came from beyond our solar system makes it invaluable. Each interstellar object is a messenger, a physical time capsule. The last two, Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov, already challenged everything we thought we knew. Oumuamua had no tail, no gas release. It tumbled strangely. It accelerated. Some said it was a probe. Others called it a flat shard of rock. The truth, still debated. Then came Borisov. More typical. A comet-like body with a gas cloud. But even it wasn't quite normal. Now, 3I/ATLS joins the ranks, and it's different again. This one appears solid, long, fast, and its approach was almost missed until it passed Mars. That tells us something crucial. Our detection systems aren't ready. Even major interstellar objects can pass close to us undetected until the last moment, and when they're gone, they're gone. 3I/ATLS is on a hyperbolic trajectory. That means it will not return. Once it swings past the Sun, it will accelerate outward, slipping beyond the gravitational grip of our system forever. This is a one-time opportunity. A narrow observational window to study something unrepeatable, and we're already behind. Spectroscopic measurements are scheduled. Observatories around the solar system, some even orbiting Jupiter, will attempt to collect compositional data. They might detect exotic ices, rare isotopes, chemical signatures that don't exist in our solar system. Or maybe, something no one can identify at all. But the window is closing. Once 3I/ATLS reaches perihelion, two things could happen. 1. It disintegrates. Vaporized by solar radiation, shattered by gravitational forces. That would suggest it's fragile, perhaps a loosely bound mass, like most solar system comets. Or 2. It survives. If it holds together under extreme conditions, that tells us something else. It's structurally unique. It may not be held by gravity alone. It might be more than just a pile of cosmic debris. That possibility has scientists on edge, because the universe doesn't build things without reason. A 46-kilometer-long solid object moving at 90 kilometers per second isn't just drifting. It's slicing through the solar system like a knife. And Perseverance just happened to catch it. Briefly. Perfectly. Too perfectly, some might say. And here's where it gets complicated. The scientific community walks a tightrope between wonder and credibility. If you raise the possibility of artificial origin without evidence, you risk ridicule. But if you dismiss every anomaly as just noise, you risk missing something real. This moment, this object, forces that tension into the open. Because whether 3I/ATLS is a natural relic or something more, the message is the same. Our universe is not quiet. It's not still. It's moving, speaking, sending. And we are listening with broken microphones and fogged lenses. There's a philosophical weight to it all. For centuries, we looked up and saw emptiness. Now we look again and see travelers. Visitors from beyond. Maybe they're just rocks. Maybe they're ancient wreckage. Maybe they're messages written in the language of trajectory and silence. Either way, they are not from here. And that's enough to change how we see everything. If 3I/ATLS survives its close brush with the Sun, it could become a cornerstone of astrophysical study. If it disintegrates, it might still leave traces, dust particles, a spectral echo, but the truth is, we may never know more than what that single image shows, a line across the Martian sky, a whisper from another star, a question with no answer. There will be other objects. Future missions may carry instruments designed specifically for encounters like this. Perhaps one day, we'll intercept one, study it up close, maybe even capture it. But for now we watch. We wait. We wonder. The delay in data, the shape of the streak, the silence from the agencies. It all hangs in the air like static before a message. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's everything. But the image exists, and that alone is historic. What Perseverance captured may not be proof of anything extraordinary, but it is evidence of the unknown, of motion, of mystery, of the fact that we are not alone, not in life, but in cosmic company. Because the universe is not empty, it's full of stories, full of questions, full of travelers, and one of them just passed by Mars. If that gave you chills, don't let it fade. Hit the like button, share this with someone who still believes we've seen everything, and let us know in the comments what you think 3I/ATLS really is. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this, because the cosmos isn't done talking, and we're just getting started listening. It's strange, isn't it? How one blurry image from the edge of another world can shake the ground beneath our understanding. You'd think we were past that, past getting rattled by streaks in the sky. But here we are, scientists, engineers, governments. Everybody staring at that stripe captured by Perseverance and asking the same thing. What is that? It's not the first time something from beyond has entered our solar system, but it's only the third we've confirmed. And this one is different. 3I/ATLS didn't swing in quietly. It didn't behave like a comet we know. It didn't announce itself with a tail of ice or flare of gas. It just streaked. Bold. Silent. Fast. And right past the only functioning rover on Mars, a machine designed to study geology, not chase interstellar anomalies. Yet in that brief intersection of trajectory and timing, Perseverance snapped what may be one of the most provocative images in space history, a perfect collision of motion, lens distortion, and raw cosmic chance. And the shape, that's where it gets weird. Cylindrical, clean, uniform. If it had shown up on Earth, flying low over a desert, people would be using one-word craft, but this isn't Earth. And NASA isn't throwing around words like that, because officially it's nothing. A processing artifact, a result of a moving object smeared across pixels not built for deep space imaging. A glitch. Yet if it's just a glitch, why does the line have depth? Why does it carry shadow gradients? Why does it seem structured? That's what people keep asking. Scientists. On forums. Amateur astronomers. Journalists. The curious. The skeptical. The hopeful. Everyone's looking at the same frame and saying, that doesn't look like a rock. That doesn't look like noise. That looks like something built. And then the silence. No follow-up images. No official enhancements. Just a few technical statements about how Navcam artifacts can stretch bright objects into lines during fast motion. Plausible, sure, but incomplete. Because this wasn't a meteor overhead. This was an interstellar object, passing near Mars, at speeds exceeding 90 kilometers per second. That alone should have triggered the full force of planetary observation assets. Instead, we got one shot, and silence. Meanwhile, orbiters with better cameras, still quiet, still processing data. That's the story. But days turn into weeks, and all we've got is a single frame from a navigation camera, and 100 unanswered questions. Now, to be clear, speculation is easy. People want to believe, in messages, in probes, in artifacts, in something other than just drifting dust from a distant star. But 3I/ATLS doesn't need help to be extraordinary. Even if it's natural, it's still from outside our solar system. That alone makes it one of the rarest objects humans have ever seen. And it's not staying long. By the end of October it'll reach its closest point to the Sun, perihelion, just over 200 million kilometers out. Still far, still safe. but close enough for intense solar heating to test its structure. If it's fragile, it may break apart, vaporize, disappear before we get another look. But if it holds, then everything changes again. Because if 3I/ATLS survives the sun's fury, it tells us something critical. This isn't just frozen dust glued together by gravity. This is bonded, structured, either by physics we don't fully understand, or by design. And that's the thought everyone keeps circling. Is it possible? Could it be artificial? No one's saying it definitively. No agency is running to microphones to claim alien contact, but they don't need to. The data is out. The streak is real, and the object's speed and path confirm one thing: it didn't come from here. That makes it alien, not in the Hollywood sense, not flying saucers and radio transmissions, but alien in origin, formed beyond our star, born in a system we'll never see, under a sun we'll never orbit, and somehow, now, passing by our corner of space, silent, unstoppable. Maybe it's a message, maybe it's just debris, but either way it came to us, and we weren't ready. Not with instruments, not with coverage, not with coordination. We had no rapid response observation protocol for an interstellar flyby near another planet. It was chance. Perseverance just happened to be looking up. The navcam just happened to be open. And now, that streak is all we have. For now, because data is coming. Slowly, carefully. The kind of delay that invites conspiracy. Theories start to swirl when silence drags on. Some say the images are being vetted. Others suggest there's something they can't explain, or something they can explain, and don't want to. Is that fair? Probably not. But it's understandable. Because in the absence of clarity, we invent meaning. We fill the void with possibility. Especially when the void stares back with a shape that doesn't make sense. And here's the deeper layer. What if we're not seeing an object, but a message? What if the universe sends out fragments, like seeds, carrying the story of other stars? Not language, not code, but matter, trajectory, design, a kind of cosmic broadcast, not in words but in presence. 3I/ATLS is presence, proof that the boundaries of our solar system are porous, that we are not isolated. That space is not a barrier, but a road. A long dark road with travelers we've just begun to notice. This changes the narrative. Because for centuries we believed space was static, that the only movement came from inside asteroids, comets, planets. But now with Oumuamua, Boreas, and Etid, we see it differently. We're part of a traffic system. Interstellar debris, maybe interstellar visitors. Objects that cross our path once, then vanish forever. And we get a blink, a streak, a blur. If we're lucky, a chemical reading. And then it's gone. That's why this matters. Because every encounter with an object like 3I/ATLS is a test of how ready we are to respond, to observe, to investigate. And this time we weren't ready. Not with our tech, not with our strategy, not even with our imagination. This one came and went, fast, clean, mysterious. And now, the race is on to catch whatever pieces of it we can, before it slips beyond the sun, beyond reach, beyond understanding. Spectral analysis might tell us more, if the object emits or reflects the right wavelengths, if we catch the right angle, if the heat of the sun doesn't erase the clues from it. But even then the biggest question will likely remain: why does it look like that? Why does it look engineered? Maybe it isn't. Maybe the universe in its chaos occasionally produces symmetry. Maybe chance builds cylinders. Maybe light and speed conspired to give us an illusion. But even if that's true, we have to admit what it means. We can no longer assume the ordinary, not with interstellar objects. Because the moment they enter our solar system, they become part of our story. And that story is rapidly evolving. No longer are we the center of anything. We're a waypoint, a stop on a larger journey. And we're just beginning to realize what might be passing by. 3I/ATLS is not the last. Others will follow. And next time we may be ready. With better cameras, better coordination, A clearer protocol for capturing these moments, not as anomalies, but as opportunities. Because if the universe is sending objects like this through our skies, we need to be watching, and listening, and asking. Every detail matters. The speed, the shape, the silence, the streak across the Martian sky. This wasn't fiction. It wasn't theory. It happened, and it's still happening. Right now that object is hurtling toward the sun. In days it will face temperatures no structure should endure, and we'll watch helpless, waiting to see whether it survives the burn or fades into cosmic ash. And if it does survive, then the questions will only get louder, because nothing about 3I/ATLS is easy to dismiss, not its speed, not its shape, not the image we weren't supposed to get, not the silence that followed. It all adds up to one truth: we don't know enough. And maybe we never will, but the pursuit, the investigation, that's what matters. The willingness to confront the unknown, to challenge the neat categories we've built around space, to say we thought we understood, but maybe we were wrong. And maybe that's the most human thing of all: to stand under a foreign sky, to look at a streak that defies explanation, and instead of turning away, to lean in and ask what else is out there. We may never know what 3I/ATLS really is, but it came. It crossed our path, and in doing so it left a mark, not just on a digital camera in a dusty crater, but on the way we think about the cosmos. It reminded us that space is not a void. It is a story, one we're just beginning to read. There's something haunting about it. That streak over silent, perfect, fleeting, like a ghost from another galaxy brushing past the edge of our awareness. It came without warning, left without a sound, and now it lingers, not in orbit, not in data, but in our minds. Because deep down you know this wasn't just some cosmic pebble tumbling through the void. It felt intentional, even if it wasn't. And maybe that's the part we're not ready to admit. That the universe might not just be indifferent emptiness, that it might be moving, watching, reaching. What are the odds that this object, only the third of its kind, passes right by Perseverance? That a navigation camera, not even built for deep space, snaps the one image that stuns the world, and then silence. No follow-up, no clarity, just a streak. 50,000 kilometers of motion compressed into one frame, and behind it, a trail of questions we can't shake. Not anymore, because now we know something passed by, something real, something from beyond, and we didn't catch it in time. But next time we better be ready. If this story stayed with you, hit like, share it with someone who still thinks space is predictable, and leave a comment below. What do you think Perseverance captured? And don't forget to subscribe, because the universe just whispered once and it will speak again.